there were some witnesses, 3 witnesses who came before the House Oversight Subcommittee to talk about a topic that you almost have to wonder, is this really a serious event, or is this some kind of a stunt? And I say this because there were some people on social media, we're talking, by the way, about testimony regarding UFOs. And there were some people on social media saying that this is all a diversion to cover up all the information that's coming out on the criminal activity of the Bidens. This is a stunt. This is preposterous. However, you listened to some of this and you've delved into it, and you're saying that there is something intriguing and a little different about these witnesses and what they have to say. So what's different?
Yeah.
Because we've been hearing about UFOs and science fiction, H.G. Wells. Yeah.
So apparently, and the interesting thing is that Schumer and Rubio are actually like on board with this. Like they want to know more. And we haven't had that kind of bipartisan curiosity. So So they're really wanting to know more. Apparently, one of these guys was he's a Air Force, I guess, F-18
F-18 pilot, yes.
Pilot.
So he's Ryan Graves.
Yes. So anyway, he has said that a lot of these guys that see these things, and first of all, when I say these things, I'm talking about an object that they claim is even more technologically advanced than our stuff, or whatever we have, anything humans have. And that anytime they wanted to go public or talk about it, they were like shut down and threatened. So it's very interesting why are they threatening them?
Well, the other thing I found interesting from the testimony is the fact that they were talking about the fact that they appear to have recovered remains, almost like a body of supposedly an alien entity. And the body, according to the witness, is made of no known DNA that define life as we know it. Now, again, the level of skepticism that we both bring to this is obviously high. Why? Because there are reports for a long time. And in fact, you had one from me that really made me laugh. You picked it up off a radio show. And tell me about the report.
Yeah. So it was really funny. I was listening to this guy. I'm not going to mention his name, but I was listening to him. And he had a guest on. And apparently the guest was telling him how he was kidnapped by this alien that took him up in this to outer space, took him in this UFO, and they took his sperm and then deposited him back down on Earth, right? And they were talking about it as if it was just so matter of fact, I went to the doctor and he checked my prostate, kind of like that. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I thought to myself, what in the world is this person, even...
And there have been reports over the decades where, a bunch of guys are like, they're like at a beer party.
They're drinking out in the field.
Exactly. And they're like, we saw, and the Martian came out of the space vehicle and so on. But here we're talking about an intelligence officer for 14 years in the Air Force. We're talking about a former F-18 pilot, the guy you mentioned, a retired commander in the Navy who was also a commanding officer of Strike Fighter Squadron 41, the so-called Black Aces. So these are people obviously at a different, much higher level of credibility.
They're not drunk. They're not drunk.
They're not drunk. And look, there are people who say this is ridiculous and it's impossible and they can't be aliens and why aren't aliens mentioned in the Bible? And that is the same level. This is the same level of argumentative credibility as someone who says, well, why aren't there dinosaurs in the Bible? Therefore, dinosaurs could not exist. The Bible doesn't talk about the earth being tens of thousands of years old, therefore the earth can't be tens of thousands of years old. No, this I think is a misreading of the Bible. The Bible is a manual of God's communication with man, with us. It is entirely possible that there are other worlds, other creatures. God may have a completely different relationship with them. Who knows if he has a different kind of Bible for them? And there would be nothing that contradicts our Bible. So in other words, I think we shouldn't be sort of trying to restrict what God can do, right? I mean, do you agree with this line of thinking?
Sort of.
Yeah.
I'm very skeptical about all this.
That it's real.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if those things that they're seeing is maybe China or Russia,
Spy satellites.
I mean, I don't know. Could it be that, instead of being afraid of having a nuclear war with China, Russia, Iran, we should be worried about an alien force out there? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I just think that you have people who seem to be, well, first of all, they don't seem to have an agenda. They're not getting anything out of this. Second of all, they have a level of sophistication that goes beyond ours in being able to determine if we're talking about something that, let's say, another country has built. Because, look, the U.S. Navy, the U.S. Air Force deals with foreign objects, even spy balloons all the time. They know what those things are. They can identify them. And you have to realize that these people also know that putting themselves on camera and going before Congress and talking about UFOs, there are a lot of people who think they're nuts.
They are. But I'm wondering, does Russia, China, any other country also do this kind of investigation? I mean, clearly this isn't just in America.
There is this group called SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Objects, which is a worldwide enterprise. In fact, one of the guys who died in the submersible was on the board.
Involved.
This is the Pakistani guy was on the board of the SETI project.
That's right.
Look, I agree. I think we should have a high degree of skepticism, but on the other hand, my skepticism doesn't extend to the point of saying that this kind of thing is impossible. It is possible, although over time the facts will tell. Bank failures, record inflation, spy balloons, mass layoffs. This is a recipe for economic disaster if your investments are with a typical financial advisor. But my friend Rebecca Walser is different. You've seen her on the podcast. She's a wealth strategist, tax attorney. She has a global MBA from the London School of Economics. Rebecca told her clients to get out of equities back at the end of 2021. She got it right when most advisors got it wrong. And who had to pay the price? Well, you as the customer. Don't let blind loyalty leave you losing money. Call Rebecca Walser's office today to protect your wealth from the market uncertainty. Debbie and I did a call with Rebecca's team to talk about our investments. We're moving ahead, and you should too. Go to friendofdinesh.com to book a call with Rebecca Walser's team today. That's friendofdinesh.com to protect your investments and your future.